Hey guys, welcome to Jack's Beautiful You. Today's video, we're going to talk about perfumes that are scrubbers according to you. So I did a poll on my Instagram and on my community tab here on YouTube, and I got a lot of responses from you guys about perfumes that you really don't like. The question was not what perfumes do you think are overhyped, what perfumes are you sick of? No. This was what perfumes do you hate? What perfumes do you think were so bad you actually had to scrub them off and you couldn't wash it off fast enough? If you're new here, hi, my name is Jackie. Thank you so much for clicking on my thumbnail today. I really appreciate you being here. To my returning subscribers, thank you guys so much for all your continued support. I truly appreciate you. Let's get into this video. Alright, so like I said, I asked you guys over on my Instagram, which, by the way, if you're not following me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me over there and support me over there as well. I would really appreciate that. I do some stuff over there that I don't always do on YouTube. And also, I did a post here on my community tab, which you guys really sounded off in the comments on that one. And then also I got a lot of DMs as well answering this question. So I went through all three of those and I tallied up the perfumes that had the most votes. So I have the top 20 here ranked. I'm going to start with number 20 and then work my way up to number 1, the most hated perfume according to you guys. Alright, we have to put the disclaimer in here, you guys. Nobody needs to get their feelings hurt about this video. This is supposed to be fun. And I really like these types of videos because I really feel like we need to normalize not liking perfumes. Especially really popular, hyped up perfumes. I think we need to make it okay to not like those. I get a lot of comments from people saying, oh, I'm so glad that you don't like that perfume, or I thought I was the only one, I thought my nose was broken, I thought something was wrong with me, and there's nothing wrong with you. If you don't like a perfume that everybody else loves, there is nothing wrong with you. It just means you are your own person with your own mind and you are an individual. And I also want to normalize letting influencers not like perfumes too. I think that it's really important that we don't attack people who are on YouTube when they give their honest opinion and feedback on a perfume, even if it doesn't match up with our own, because we need to encourage honesty, right? We want people like me and other influencers who are reviewing fragrances to come on here and tell our honest, true thoughts and opinions without having to sugarcoat it, you know what I mean? Because I don't know about you, but I would rather watch somebody who's being 100% honest than somebody who's just telling you what they think the crowd wants to hear. You know what I'm saying? So we need to make sure that we're giving that freedom to influencers to just say what they think without being attacked, without people coming for them when the opinion doesn't line up with their own. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into this list. Now I do have an honorable mention here, or maybe I should say a dishonorable mention, I don't know. But this is a perfume that didn't quite make the top 20, but I was shocked at how many votes it actually got. This is a pretty new fragrance, and this one almost made the top 20. This is by Dolce & Gabbana, and this is Devotion. This has been raved about, and people have been loving this, and people have been saying how amazing this is, and I have to admit, I really enjoyed this fragrance myself, but this was one of the, I mean, it was pretty close to making the top 20. I thought that there were people out there who maybe thought this wasn't worth the hype. Some people think maybe, you know, it's just a basic designer fragrance or something like that, but I really didn't think people were considering this a scrubber. Like you had to wash it off. I'm kind of surprised by that because I absolutely love this perfume. It's candied citruses, lots of orange blossom and vanilla. But if that's not your vibe, maybe the citruses just aren't your thing in the opening. Maybe you don't like that candied sweetness in the opening with that zesty kind of sour lemon that's in here. And, you know, maybe you're not a fan of orange blossom. I don't know. But for me, I love this perfume. But there are people out there who don't. So this is a good reminder that even though a fragrance is super hyped, it's better to test for yourself, unless you really like blind buys. But yeah, test this one first because there are some people who think it's a scrubber. All right, we're going to get into the top 20. So in the number 20 spot is by YSL, and this is Babycat. And I have to agree with this one. I know that there are a lot of people who love this perfume. This perfume got so hyped, and it was total FOMO because it wasn't available in the United States, and people were just like going crazy, I felt like, over this perfume. And I mean, I was really curious about this perfume because some people are saying, you know, it's the best vanilla they've ever smelled. When I got it, I was like super disappointed, and really the black pepper in the opening of this perfume is uber strong on my skin. It does not smell good on me. My husband said that it smelled like scrambled eggs with tons of black pepper. He has scrambled eggs every morning, and he said it smells like that. And I don't know about that. I don't think it smells like scrambled eggs, but I did get the black pepper immensely. I mean, it was just overpowering. It was too much. And then mixed with the leather, and I don't really know how it dries down. It probably dries down into this gorgeous vanilla fragrance, but I can't get past the opening. So I had to scrub this one off too. So I agree with you guys on this one. Although it is a very loved perfume as well. But yeah, I agree. I had to scrub it off too. Number 19, we have Oud Satin Mood. This one kind of surprised me because this is a pretty popular fragrance. I think a lot of people do enjoy this, but I have to agree with this one too. Oud Satin Mood is not my favorite. I'm not the biggest Oud fan, but I feel like this one was just super powdery on my skin. It turned into a powder bomb. It was rosy, powdery, with a lot of oud, and it was not my favorite. I did have to end up washing this one off. I felt like it was really strong, and it just went way too powdery for my liking. So I agree with this one as well. I do not own Oud Satin Mood, and I don't enjoy it at all. But again, I know a lot of people do. A lot of people love this one, and it might be a skin chemistry thing. You know, I wonder how. I don't know if it's turning into a powder bomb on everyone. Obviously, lots of people love this perfume, so I'm sure it smells amazing on certain skin chemistries, but on me, it was a no, and I had to scrub it off. So I agree with this one as well. Oud Satin Mood is a no for me. In the number 18 spot, we have a perfume that I love, although this was the original. So we have by YSL Libre, and this is the intense version. Most of the votes were for the OG, but there were a couple of votes for the intense version as well. I kind of understand it. I mean, I love the intense version. The OG is okay. I like it, but I don't love it enough to have a bottle. But this, the intense version, and I like the Le Parfum as well. I think this smells absolutely incredible. To me, this is a boss woman. This is a strong, confident woman fragrance. That's what it represents for me. It's lavender. It's white florals with lots and lots of vanilla. It's strong. The intense is beast mode. Now, the original was a little bit too aromatic, too much lavender, and it was a little screechy for me, and that's why I don't really like that one, but I wouldn't consider it a scrubber personally. Now, what's funny about this is that when I first tried the intense version, I absolutely hated it. I actually recoiled from it. I thought it smelled horrible, and I was not interested at all. I tried it again maybe like a year later and absolutely fell in love, and I haven't looked back. So I personally like the Libre line, but I know there are lots of people who cannot tolerate it, and I think it's because of that lavender. Some people just aren't about it, you know what I mean? And it's really strong too. I mean, it's super strong, it's intense. This is a winter perfume for me, but I absolutely love it. So let me know what you think of this one. Are you a fan or not of YSL Libre? The whole line. You know, the OG, the Intense, the Le Parfum. What do you think? In the number 17th place, we have by Chanel Coco Mademoiselle. I adore this perfume. I was so sad. Not sad. I mean, it's just perfume. But I was like, man, there are so many votes for this one. And I get it because it does, I think for a lot of people, it's pretty old-fashioned. Somebody said it smelled like mildew. It was so funny. Your comments were hilarious. I laughed so hard on some of your comments. There was one that I laughed out loud. I was with a group of people and I read it and I actually laughed out loud and almost spit my drink out because they said, I didn't put this one in the list because there was only one vote for it, but it was by Nichane, Fan Your Flames, and they said it smelled like bug spray set on fire. I thought that was hilarious. There were quite a few people who said that this smelled like bug spray as well. I got mildew, bug spray, vintage, old fashioned. That was kind of the consensus for the people who don't like this fragrance. To me, this smells like class and sophistication. I love the patchouli in here. It just smells like a classy lady in my opinion, but some of you guys truly cannot stand Coco, Mademoiselle. Somebody said all Chanel fragrances. I used to hate Chanel fragrances too when I was younger, like in my 20s. I thought these smelled like really old-fashioned, but now I guess I'm a lot older. So that is by Chanel, Coco, Mademoiselle. All right, up next we have by Carolina Herrera, Good Girl, the original. Lots of you guys don't like this one. I was kind of surprised that this was a scrubber though. I thought this was a perfume that people are sick of hearing about. They don't really think it's that great. It's overhyped. I kind of feel that way. It's a little overhyped, or you know, it's not really that, it's not my favorite. It's not my personal favorite at all. I don't own a bottle of the original Good Girl because I just don't care for it all that much, but I never found it to be like a scrubber. But for some people, you guys really hate that fragrance. It's got a ton of notes in it, and it's like this combination of white floral with gourmand touches. It has praline, I think there's coffee, but then there's a lot of white florals, and I think sometimes people don't like that combo. I'm looking at the notes here. There's just so many. There's patchouli, there's sandalwood, amber. There's just a lot going on, and I think for a lot of people it might be too much. And it did kind of smell a little too busy for my personal taste, for my personal liking. It's very sweet at the same time, so I think it's just not going to be to everyone's taste. So I wouldn't say, for me personally, I think it's a scrubber, but I personally don't care for the fragrance. I'm not really interested in a bottle. All right, up next we had a lot of votes for Ellis Brooklyn's Vanilla Milk. Now, this perfume is one that I actually have never smelled. I don't know what I think about this one because the reviews were so terrible on this perfume. I completely lost interest. Originally, I was very interested in this fragrance when I first heard about it because I love vanilla and I like lactonic fragrances. But when I started hearing reviews on this, I was like, no thank you. People are saying that it smelled like gasoline. Some people are saying it smelled like burnt rubber. There was just some funky note in there that people were really hating, and it completely turned me off. I guess I need to go to the store and actually test it out. You know, I need to go to a Sephora and test it for myself to see. I saw more negative reviews on that fragrance than I saw good reviews, and it completely turned me off. So let me know in the comment section if you've tried Vanilla Milk. What do you think of that fragrance? Is it a scrubber for you? I know a lot of you guys truly dislike that one. All right, up next we have by Parfums de Marly Valaya. Or is it Valaya? Valaya? One of those two. Lots of votes for this one. Somebody said, I got another mildew comment on this one, like it smelled like mildew. I don't know if that's the aldehydes. Some people don't like aldehydes. I know there's aldehydes in this fragrance. There's peach, there's orange, there's bergamot, it's orange blossom. There's lots and lots of musk. There's some ambroxan. I think some people don't do well with ambroxan. I was surprised that this one was a scrubber. I love this one. I actually want to add it into my collection. I have been waiting though, because when I tried it, I really, really liked it. It reminded me a lot of Ex Nihilo's Fleur Narcotique, but not exactly. There were differences. But I've heard all different kinds of things about the interpretation of Valaya. I've heard people say that it's really masculine leaning, which that shocked me because to me that was a very feminine, musky, floral, fruity kind of scent. It was a really, really good performing fragrance as well. I got super good performance out of it. So I want a bottle of it. I plan on adding a bottle into my collection at some point. I'm waiting for the price to go down because I don't want to pay full price, and I'm going to wait until spring and summer because I feel like it'll be better. I'm really not in the mood for that type of fragrance right now. But in spring and summer, I will definitely want to get a bottle of that. Plus, I love the bottle as well. I think it's beautiful. But I was so surprised at how many votes there were for this. I mean, some of you guys really hate this fragrance. So I think that that's interesting. Definitely need to try for yourself. This is not a safe blind buy because, like I said, some people really think it's terrible. but I personally like this one, and I do plan on adding it into my collection. In the number 13 spot, I'm not surprised about this one at all. We have Black Opium. Now, I don't have the OG Black Opium. I actually decluttered that one, but I did recently just pick up the Le Parfum. And this one is lots and lots of vanilla. I've really been enjoying this one. I wasn't sure how I thought about it at first. I really like this one, but this isn't the one that people were talking about. I think most people were talking about the OG Black Opium, although some of the comments said Black Opium and all the flankers. So I think the OG Black Opium was so popular and it was so worn. And I mean, there was a point where you could smell it everywhere you went. I felt like everywhere I went, I smelled Black Opium. And so I kind of thought, you know, people are sick of it, but you know, it was never really one that I truly loved, but it's definitely not a scrubber for me. But some people absolutely hate it. There were a couple of comments that Black Opium makes them nauseous. And again, it has that white floral coffee gourmand kind of combo that, like I said, doesn't really suit everybody's taste. It's very sweet, and I think some people get nauseous with really, really sweet fragrances. I found the original to be really sweet and not really the smoothest perfume I think I've ever smelled in my life. And like I said, I didn't hate it. I didn't feel like it was a scrubber, but I also found it to be not great performance. It didn't really perform on me very well, and I ended up decluttering it. I had Black Opium Illicit Green, which I really, really liked, but again, I was never reaching for it, and that scent profile just isn't my favorite. And so I went ahead and decluttered that one as well, but this one I'm enjoying. So this has lots of vanilla. I think there's like 4 different kinds of vanilla in here. I'm not really that surprised over the OG Black Opium. I know there are people out there who really don't like that fragrance. Makes them sick to their stomach, makes them nauseous, they hate it. But as much as people don't like that perfume, a lot of people love it. I know people still love Black Opium, so I want to know from you, of course, which one are you? Are you team Black Opium or not? Let me know in the comments. This next one, I'm not super surprised by. This is a love or hate perfume. This is by Liquid Imaginaires, and this is Blanche Bete. Now, I think that there are people out there who just cannot tolerate lactonic notes. You know, that milky lactonic type of situation just does not work for some people. Some skin chemistries just do not get along with it, and there were quite a few votes for this one. But I know this is also a very loved, very hyped, very popular fragrance as well. So that's why I say this is a love or hate. Definitely not a safe blind buy. You have to test this one on yourself, and I feel like this has a lot to do with skin chemistry. Although this again is kind of a milky gourmand mixed with white florals. Again, not a combination everybody loves. I love it. I love white florals and I love gourmands. So I love this. I love lactonic notes. This is a beast mode fragrance. This lasts forever. Oh, this smells so good to me. Plus there's like a muskiness to it, so it's not super thick to my nose. It's milky, it's white floral, it's sweet, it's kind of gourmand, it's musky, it's beautiful. It's super unique. I really don't feel like I have anything quite like this, and the performance is outstanding. This lasts on me all day, and I truly love this one. But it got lots of votes, so I know lots of you don't like it. So this is by Liquid Imaginaires Blanche Bete. All right, in the number 11 spot, we have by Swiss Arabian Shaghaf Oud, and I have to agree, this is one of my most disliked perfumes I've ever tried. This perfume is a rose oud combination, and the oud to me is awful. The oud in here smells like rubbing alcohol to me. It is scratchy, it is rough, it is abrasive, it is offensive to my nostrils. I just do not like this perfume, and I have to agree, it is a complete and total scrubber. But to be fair, I think that way of most rose oud perfumes. I think Oud Bouquet is a scrubber. Can't stand that perfume. The oud in there smells like rubbing alcohol to me. There's only 2 rose oud perfumes I've ever smelled that I truly love, I think, and that's Neff's, and I really enjoy Worthiness from Benigna. Beautiful oud fragrances, and I'm not an oud lover. But I think a lot of people have a hard time with that rose oud combination. I think a lot of people have a hard time with oud, especially if it's done in a very skanky, rough, barnyard smelling kind of way. I can't stand it. And Shaghaf Oud, I think, is probably the worst out of all of them for me. It is rough. I do not like it, but I know there are lots of people who do. There are lots of people who do. There are lots of people who love Oud, and I've heard a lot of people say it's a compliment getter. It is super strong. It is just uber strong, definitely strong enough to cut through the cold. So if you do like oud fragrances, you might want to check it out. But I agree with you guys on this one. I had to scrub this off of me, and then even after I scrubbed it off of me, it still stayed because it's so strong. But I did find a way to get a perfume off of you. If you don't like it, you just use deodorant. So if you spray perfume on you and you hate it and you scrub it off and you can't get it off, take deodorant and rub it on top and it'll take the scent away. I'm so happy I discovered that. But yeah, I agree with you guys. Swiss Arabian Shaghaf Oud, no, I cannot tolerate it. In the number 10 spot, listen guys, listen. I don't know what you guys are talking about here, okay? I don't agree with this one at all because this is one of my top 10 for life perfumes. But that's okay. That's okay. We can agree to disagree. We can not like each other's perfumes and still be friends. This is by Xerjoff and this is Italica. Guys, what? You think this is a scrubber? I love this perfume. Okay, I get it though, because when I first tried this fragrance, I hated it with a passion. I had a sample of it and it smelled like burnt plastic, and I thought, who in the heck would wear this? It smells awful. A year later, I tried it again and it was magical. I absolutely love this perfume. I'm almost done. I have a 30 ml of this that I've almost completely gone through, so I had to get 100 ml because this is a top 10 for life for me. I cannot be without it. But this also has a milk note in it, so I think people just can't handle that lactonic feel. Plus, there's saffron in here, which that's not always everyone's favorite either. But for me, I get this cherry amaretto in the opening, I get the saffron, and then I get this gorgeous toffee and vanilla almond cookie with a glass of milk. It's so good. I love it so much. I get really good performance out of it. I'm thinking the burnt plastic smell was from the saffron when I first tried it, but it doesn't smell like that to me at all anymore. And this just smells like the most delicious and unique gourmand ever. I love it. But yeah, not a safe blind buy. Some people hate it. It was in the number 10 spot. Lots of you guys think this is terrible. Lots of you guys needed to scrub this off. So that is by Xerjoff Italica. In the number 9 spot, this one did not surprise me at all. This is by Amouage and this is Guidance. I agree with this one. I had to scrub this one off as well. To me, this one smells like body odor. I think this is a skin chemistry issue because there are so many people who love Guidance and swear by it, and then there are so many people who absolutely despise it, and there's probably some people who are in between. Maybe they don't like it, maybe they don't hate it, you know, maybe they're in the middle. But from what I've seen, most people either love it or hate it. It is not safe. Do not blind buy Guidance because the people who hate it truly hate it. I am one of them. I couldn't get this perfume off of me fast enough. It truly smelled like straight up body odor on my skin chemistry, and it was awful. I just wanted it off. I know some people think it's amazing though, and so if it smells good on you, a lot of people have said that it's a major compliment getter. So yeah, test it for yourself, but definitely not a safe blind buy. So that is by Amouage Guidance. In the number 8 spot, I'm not surprised by this one at all. This is by Mugler and this is the original Angel. I have to agree with this one as well. I really dislike this perfume. It's one of my most disliked fragrances, and I definitely have to scrub it off when I try it. I go back to it quite often. I do have a decant of it. I don't declutter the decant because I keep hoping that one day I'll go to it and actually enjoy it. But it's the patchouli. The patchouli in there is the type of patchouli I really don't like. It smells very, very dirty to me, very earthy, and I don't like it at all. It's incredibly strong, and it's just not for me. But some people swear by it. Some people absolutely love it. And I do have respect for Angel. I have respect for Angel because it kind of started the way for gourmands, you know? Perfumes like that really didn't exist yet. It was something brand new at the time. It was very innovative for its time, so I do respect it, but I can't wear it, and I don't like the way it smells, and I don't like the way it smells on other people. When I smell it on other people, I'm like, no. So for me, it's not necessarily just a skin chemistry issue. I just genuinely don't like the way that Angel smells. It's definitely a scrubber for me too. Number 7, we have Rosendo Mateu. Is it Mateu? Is that right? Rosendo Mateu number 5. I think that's right. This fragrance is another one that is very polarizing. It is loved by some people and it is hated by others. Again, this one is a skin chemistry issue. For some of us, it smells like straight up burning tires, and that's what I get from this fragrance. I could not get this perfume off of me fast enough. It smelled like 100% burning tires, exactly what it smelled like, and I didn't get anything else from the perfume. I don't know what this smells like when it dries down. I couldn't get that far because I genuinely despise the opening. Some people say, oh, just wait a minute and give it time because it turns into this gorgeous fragrance. I'm sorry, no. No, I want a perfume that smells amazing from the beginning to the end. I don't want to have to sit through 30 minutes of burning tires to get to a gorgeous dry down. I'm sorry, no. That's not for me. I'm not interested. I do still have my sample though, because I am curious about trying it again. You know, if I go back to it in about 6 months and test it again, will I still get that? Because that's how I felt about Italica. I got burning plastic the first time I tried it, but now it's in my top 10 for life. So I love to go back to perfumes that I just don't like and see if I change my mind. So I will go back to this one. But as of right now, I agree with you guys. It is a scrubber. I get nothing but burnt tires. In the number 6 spot, we have by Mugler Alien. And I'm kind of surprised, guys. I can't believe Alien got more votes than Angel. I really thought Angel was going to be a little higher, and I'm not surprised that Alien made the list, but I am surprised that it was in the number 6 spot. I don't know. I don't hate Alien. I don't wear Alien because it's a little too much for me. It's a little too much indolic jasmine for my taste, but I definitely don't think it's a scrubber. I can see how people would be like sick of it, sick of hearing about it. It's been talked about forever and ever. Maybe some people think it's overhyped, but some people think it's actually a genuine scrubber. They hate it. They can't stand it. I do have Alien Goddess Intense. That one I absolutely love. I think that's a much more toned down version of Alien, but still with Alien DNA, with a lot of warm amberiness and vanilla. I love that one. But the original Alien isn't for me, but again, I don't find it to be a scrubber per se. I actually have smelled Alien on other people and thought it smelled really nice on other people. Some people find it to be very sexy, very seductive, and I actually like the way it smells on other people, but I just don't personally care for it for myself. In the number 5 spot, I'm not surprised by this one at all. This one is Black Orchid, and I agree with this one wholeheartedly. Black Orchid by Tom Ford. This fragrance is my most disliked perfume I have ever smelled. This one actually gives me a physical response. It makes me nauseous. It makes me sick to my stomach, and I truly, genuinely despise the fragrance. It smells to me like something died and is decomposing. That's the way it smells on me. I can't say I've smelled it on someone else and thought that they smelled like something was decomposing. So I don't know. It could just be my skin chemistry. Perhaps it just doesn't smell right on me. I'm sure it doesn't smell like something's dying on the people who love it. Obviously, nobody wants to smell like that. So it probably smells a lot better on them, but it just smells god-awful on me, and I cannot stand it. I do keep my sample. Like I said, I keep going back to that one because I think it would be absolutely hilarious if one day I went to the sample and I just loved it. I hate it so much. It would be so fantastic and funny if one day I just absolutely fell in love with it. So I'm kind of hoping for that. But as of right now, Tom Ford Black Orchid is my most hated perfume of all time. In the number 4 spot, we have by Parfums de Marly Delina. Now, there were a couple votes for Delina Exclusive, which I own and love. Absolutely adore this. To me, this is just fantastic. I cannot express to you my love for this. This is one of my top 10 for life perfumes. I think it's magical. I think it's beautiful, but most of the votes are for the OG Delina. I don't find Delina, the OG, to be my cup of tea per se. I don't particularly care for the rhubarb note, and I think that's why some people really don't like that fragrance. There's rhubarb and it can be very sour. It can be too sour. It does come across as sour on my skin. I used to really dislike Delina OG. I tried it again later on and I liked it a lot more, but I still don't love it enough to get a bottle. I personally prefer Delina Exclusive, and I also have Delina La Rosée that I want to wear in the spring and summer. This is fall and winter. So the OG Delina I don't find to be a scrubber, but I'm not interested in a bottle of it. But some of you guys truly dislike it. In the number 3 spot is by Chanel, and this is Chanel number 5. I totally was expecting this one. This one's tough to take. I feel like I wanted to love this perfume. I really did. I tried it and I thought, man, I wanted to love it because I respect it. I respect it for what it was. It is super innovative for its time. Some people viewed this as a masterpiece, which some people also view Coco Mademoiselle as a masterpiece. I feel that way about Coco Mademoiselle. I think it set the bar for other perfumes in my opinion. Chanel number 5 is the same. Chanel number 5 is a highly purchased fragrance even to this day. There are still people out there who are rocking Chanel number 5. I don't know if I feel like it's a scrubber, but I definitely can't wear it. It is too vintage. It is so old-fashioned smelling to my nose. I cannot handle it. Yeah, it's just too much. It's too in your face. It's too much aldehydes. It's just too old-fashioned for me. I personally can't do it. So I don't know if I would say it's a scrubber. Probably, you know, I don't want to wear it. I've sprayed it on myself before to test it, and I've ended up washing it off because I don't want to smell like that. It's just not for me. But I do have a lot of respect for it, if that makes sense. So yeah, a lot of you guys can't stand Chanel number 5. In the number 2 spot, this was not a surprise to me at all. I was expecting this one. This is by MFK, and this is Baccarat Rouge 540. As much as this perfume is loved, it is equally hated, I feel like. I know that there are people out there who are just sick of it. They don't want to hear about it anymore. It was talked about to death. That's one thing. But that wasn't the question I asked. The question I asked is, what perfume could you not wash off fast enough? And for some people, they genuinely hate this perfume because for some people, it comes across as medicinal. I had people say it smells like a dentist's office. It smells like iodine. I had some people say it smells like a hospital room. It smells like medicine. You know what I mean? Like Band-Aids was a big one. Lots of people said it smells like Band-Aids, and they just hate it. I mean, genuinely hate it. It doesn't have anything to do with whether or not they think it's overhyped and they're sick of hearing about it. They just genuinely can't stand the way that it smells. Now, for me, I'm not in that boat. I don't get medicinal. I don't get Band-Aids. I don't love it, and I don't hate it. I think it's okay. It's not my favorite scent profile. I'm not interested in owning a bottle. It really doesn't do anything for me, but I don't hate it. All right, guys, and the number 1 most despised perfume, the scrubber of scrubbers, according to you guys, is by Xerjoff, and it's Erba Pura. And I have to agree. This is one of my most, I think it's right up there with Black Orchid. I really disliked Erba Pura a lot. And I did have to scrub it off when I tried it. To me, Erba Pura on my skin smells like rotten, overripe fruits with this super screechy, harsh musk that gave me this feeling that I was wearing a really, really uncomfortable and scratchy sweater. It actually made me itchy when I wore it, and I just could not get it off of me fast enough. However, I do have some friends that love Erba Pura. They swear by it, and they say it is one of their most complimented perfumes in their collection. So I don't know if it just smells better on other people or what, but some people truly love Erba Pura, and it's a compliment getter apparently. Erba Pura got the most votes by a landslide. Some of these fragrances in here, they were kind of neck and neck, but Erba Pura had so many more votes than any of the others. Erba Pura is disliked by quite a few people. And I'm one of them. So let me know in the comment section what you think of Erba Pura. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. Those are the top 20 most disliked perfumes according to you. I hope you guys liked this video and found it enjoyable and helpful. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I hope everybody is having an amazing day, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye!